NFL legend joins Shedeur Sanders' mom in explosive rant against Rex Ryan. The battle over narrative, respect, and opportunity. In the endlessly scrutinized world of professional football, narratives often take shape before players even get a fair chance to prove themselves. It's a game played not only on the field, but also in television studios, podcasts, and social media feeds. This week, one of the NFL's most outspoken voices, former head coach turned analyst Rex Ryan, found himself in the center of a storm after firing off a blistering critique of Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Ryan's comments, delivered on ESPN's Get Up, didn't just question Sanders' readiness. They went further, attacking his work ethic, his approach, and even his character. But what Ryan may not have anticipated was the firestorm of backlash his words would ignite. Not only did a former player who once played under him, NFL legend Shady McCoy, come to Shedeur's defense, but Shedeur's mother, Pilar Sanders, also stepped in with a passionate, no-holds-barred response that reverberated across social media. This clash of voices has revealed something bigger than just a quarterback controversy in Cleveland. It's a story about respect, perception, and the dangerous way narratives in sports can shape a young athlete's entire career before he even takes a meaningful snap. Rex Ryan's scathing critique. Rex Ryan is no stranger to controversy. Known for his bombastic style, unfiltered commentary, and history of headline-grabbing soundbites, Ryan has built a second career as one of football's most brutally honest TV analysts. On Get Up, Ryan directed his trademark fire at Shedeur Sanders. "This kid talks and he runs his mouth," Ryan declared. Like he said, "I can be a starting quarterback, yet you're a *** in the front row and study and do all that. Quit being an embarrassment that way. You've got the talent to be the quarterback you should be. You should be embarrassed that you're not the quarterback now." To Ryan, the issue wasn't Sanders' talent. It was his attitude. His suggestion was clear. Sanders had the tools, but he wasn't putting in the work, and that failure reflected poorly on him. But this wasn't just about mechanics, playbooks, or practice habits. Ryan's tone, sharp, dismissive, and tinged with scorn, carried the weight of a narrative often used against young athletes, especially those with big personalities or famous last names. In just a few sentences, Ryan painted Sanders not as a hungry rookie fighting for his chance, but as an arrogant kid whose words outweighed his work. Enter Shady McCoy, a player's perspective. If Ryan thought his words would simply stir up debate at the water cooler, he was mistaken. It didn't take long for one of his former players, a man who knew Ryan both as a coach and as a personality, to fire back. McCoy, two-time Super Bowl champion, six-time Pro Bowler, and one of the most dynamic running backs of his era, didn't hold back when asked about Ryan's remarks. Speaking on FS1 Speakeasy, McCoy zeroed in not just on Ryan's criticism but also on the broader context, the state of the Browns' quarterback room. "The starting quarterback is playing awful," McCoy said, referring to veteran Joe Flacco. "So what do you want me to do? Because I know I can do better than that. Joe Flacco looks like an old, scared man out there on the field, and you're telling me I can't get a shot." McCoy's words hit like a sledgehammer. He wasn't just defending Shedeur Sanders' right to want more. He was calling out the very logic of the Browns' decision-making. Why should a rookie be told to shut up and study when the starter was struggling so visibly? Then McCoy got personal. "I played for Rex and I love Rex Ryan," McCoy said, "but it's a matter of, what do you want me to do? How do you know I ain't studying?" With that, McCoy highlighted the most dangerous part of Ryan's criticism: the creation of a narrative. "See, this is the part when they create the narrative," McCoy continued. "Because when a coach of the magnitude of Rex Ryan talks about it, when guys on the TV talk about it, we create the narrative that I'm running my mouth. I'm not ready to play. I'm not studying. How do you know that?" McCoy's point resonated. Too often, television soundbites become labels that follow players for years. A single sentence from a powerful voice can brand a young quarterback as lazy, arrogant, or unprepared, regardless of the truth. And in a league where opportunities are scarce and competition is brutal, those labels can be career-defining. The mother's fury, Pilar Sanders breaks her silence. If McCoy's defense represented the voice of a veteran player, Pilar Sanders' response represented something far more primal, the voice of a mother protecting her child. Shedeur's mom, Pilar, took to Instagram with a response so raw, so fierce, that it instantly went viral. She wasn't just defending her son. She was dismantling what she saw as toxic energy infecting the sport. To young athletes and football fans, Pilar wrote alongside an image of Ryan. "This is what intent, cancerous, envious energy looks like. This type of evil goes way back. You can cut it with a knife, embedded in blood and bones, seeping through all of the rotting wormholes it has." Her words were heavy, poetic, and unflinching. For Pilar, Ryan's criticism wasn't simply about football. It was about something deeper, something systemic. The way certain voices in sports media undermine and poison the paths of young athletes before they can prove themselves. She didn't stop there. What and who does he really represent? Pilar continued. Its family and peers should be embarrassed to know and let this on their platforms. There's no room for this type in sports. Please, TSK, TSK, TSK. Enough! Her message wasn't just for Ryan. It was for the entire sports community. A warning that the culture of tearing down athletes for ratings and hot takes has real consequences. For mothers watching their sons fight for a chance, it isn't just commentary. It's a form of sabotage. The larger conversation: who controls the narrative? The controversy has become more than a spat between Rex Ryan, LeSean McCoy, and Pilar Sanders. It has raised a bigger question: who controls the narrative in modern sports? For decades, athletes were at the mercy of television analysts, columnists, and radio hosts. Their reputations were shaped by headlines, often without the athlete having a platform to respond. But in the social media era, the balance of power is shifting. Now, mothers, teammates, and even the players themselves can clap back in real time. Shedeur Sanders is living proof of this new reality. Every comment about him, good or bad, ricochets across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok within minutes. Every word becomes part of his brand, his story, his future. And while critics like Ryan see this as arrogance, defenders like McCoy and Pilar see it as survival. The question remains: should rookies like Sanders be told to keep quiet and wait their turn? Or should they be applauded for speaking up when they believe they can outperform the veteran ahead of them? Shedeur Sanders' uphill battle in Cleveland. Lost in the noise is the reality of Shedeur's situation. Drafted into a Cleveland Browns team with a revolving door of quarterbacks, Sanders entered a pressure cooker. The Browns' offense has been inconsistent. Their veteran quarterback Joe Flacco has struggled, and the fans are restless. For Sanders, every practice, every interview, and every social media post is part of an audition. He isn't just competing for snaps. He's competing for legitimacy in a league that often eats its young alive. And yet, the support he's received from McCoy, from his mother, and from a growing chorus of fans suggests that his story is far from finished. If anything, Ryan's criticism may have lit a fire under Sanders, a reminder that in the NFL, opportunity rarely comes gift-wrapped. It must be seized. A clash of eras and mentalities. At its core, this controversy is about more than Shedeur Sanders. It's about a clash of eras. Rex Ryan represents the old-school mentality. Rookies should be quiet, work hard, and earn their place without complaint. Respect is given to veterans first, and confidence without accomplishment is seen as arrogance. Shedeur Sanders, on the other hand, represents a new era of athletes. Outspoken, self-assured, and unafraid to use their platforms to shape their own stories. These athletes don't just play the game, they control the conversation around it. LeSean McCoy straddles both worlds. Having played under Ryan, he understands the old-school perspective. But as a former player who's seen how narratives can crush careers, he also understands the importance of fighting back against unfair labels. And Pilar Sanders? She represents something timeless. The protective instinct of family, unwilling to let her son be reduced to a soundbite. Conclusion: more than just a debate. In the end, this isn't just a story about Rex Ryan versus Shedeur Sanders. It's about the power of words in shaping a young athlete's destiny. It's about the battle between traditional sports commentary and the modern voices rising to challenge it. It's about respect, not just for the game, but for the players who risk everything to play it. Shedeur Sanders may not yet be the Browns' starting quarterback, but he has already won something just as valuable. A spotlight that refuses to fade, allies willing to defend him, and a platform to shape his own story. For Ryan, McCoy, Pilar, and Sanders himself, the debate isn't over. But one thing is certain: the narrative is no longer controlled by one voice on television. It's now a chorus, messy, passionate, and impossible to ignore.